Good afternoon. I want to take just a few minutes to speak to the people of Bridgewater today. I know many are anxious, frustrated, uncertain, and perhaps even a little scared. I want to let you know that it's okay to be all of those things. Life has suddenly been turned upside down. Yesterday is not the same as today, and tomorrow will be different yet again. But I want to assure you all that as every day brings challenges and uncertainties, it also brings us hope. As doctors in Ontario have now isolated the virus, and we hear news from areas around the world that first saw the virus, now seeing some signs of its recession. Nova Scotia was the last province to see cases of COVID-19. We knew it was coming, and we were as prepared as anyone for its arrival. We learned what worked and didn't as this spread around the globe. Social distancing, sanitizing high traffic areas, closing schools, and canceling programs are all key to slowing the spread. We also know that it won't be enough to stop it entirely. But if each of us does our part, we will flatten the curve. If you can stay home, please do so. The directive given by the Premier and the Chief Medical Officer Sunday was crystal clear. Every person who has returned to Canada from out of country, every single person without exception, must self-isolate for 14 days. Further to that, if you have knowingly been in contact with people who have returned from out of country, you should also self-isolate. The consequences of disregarding this are costly, not just for you, but for those around you. You are directly putting people at risk. I know it's inconvenient, and some may be thinking I don't feel ill, so I can just go to the store for a few minutes. It's not okay, and you must stop immediately. Today, Prime Minister Trudeau reiterated that same directive. Self-isolation is mandatory for out-of-country travelers. The Prime Minister also announced expanded restrictions on international travel and additional screenings at the airports. All overseas flights will also be directed through only 4 airports in the country. Only domestic US and Mexican inbound flights will be arriving in Halifax. Just a reminder, though, that this may continue to change as the situation evolves. Airlines will also not be allowed to board passengers with symptoms of COVID-19. The Canadian border will be closing to non-Canadian citizens, but it's important to note it is not closing for trade. I would ask that you go to federal government websites if you need more details on this or have questions about the financial assistance being put in place to assist with these new measures. Now is the time to also be united, and so I'm asking politicians of all political stripes at all levels of government to work together. It is not the time for politics, it is the time for people. Locally, I want to assure you that every level of government is working in concert to ensure accurate scientific information is being used to make the best possible decisions for the public in an ever-changing situation. The directions and advice given yesterday may change today. This doesn't make the older information wrong, but it means it's important for people to stay up to date in what is a continually evolving situation. I'll be posting on my Facebook page when updates come in, as will the town. Those posts will be with information from the Chief Medical Officer, our emergency measures team, and other officials with accurate, relevant information. I implore you not to post false or misleading information online. It is also important that you know that the Canadian supply chain is solid and working well, and there is no need to panic purchase. Ensure that you have what you need, but remember that others need to do the same. If you don't need to go out, even better. If you do, perhaps see if you can get something for someone else so that they don't have to go out. To ensure we are keeping people as safe as possible, I have spoken with the managers and owners of our local grocery stores, and most are working with their head offices in the Retail Council of Canada on potentially setting aside an hour for seniors only to shop, as we know that they are among the most at risk for COVID-19. I would ask that you follow their local social media feeds and check their websites for updates to know of any changes here in Bridgewater to their hours, or if times are set aside for those most at risk. Fresh Cuts in Bridgewater has made the decision that an hour before their regular opening, so from 8 to 9 a.m., will be solely for seniors. These are difficult decisions not made lightly. They are not made to exclude people, but rather to ensure their safety. I ask that we all respect this time and understand its importance in keeping our people healthy. If you are immune compromised, it is advised that you have someone else shop for you. I want to thank all the grocery store and pharmacy staff in Bridgewater. Like many others, they are on the front lines of this, and we need to support them as much as anyone else. We know that the coming weeks are going to be very difficult for all businesses within our community, and so I would encourage you to encourage them. The town, along with our municipal neighbors and the Regional Emergency Management Office, have been working day and night to keep vital municipal services running. I want to thank our teams for their effort. We are so blessed to have the people we have in the positions they're in. I want to thank every person working in healthcare, from surgeons to cleaners. You are incredible, and we thank you for the work you are doing. Thank you as well to our first responders who never stop or even slow down when the situation gets tough. You are a godsend, and we are a grateful community for your service. Now, I've talked about the protocols, and you are all no doubt aware of what needs to be done to slow the spread of the virus. There is, however, something more. First and foremost, remember that we are a community, and we are in this together. The fabric of our town is woven through the lives of each and every one of us. It is our people that make us who and what we are. It's each of you that makes Bridgewater the strong, vibrant, resilient town that it is. There are times, however, times like these, where we need to rely on each other a little more. I'm asking for a little patience at the store or on the phone, extra compassion towards that staff person who has just had a stressful day, or that young person maybe at their very first job, working through an incredibly difficult situation. I'm also asking you to think of those around you, your neighbors, your friends, your family. We will soon have a lot of people returning from out of country that will be isolated in their homes. They will need to rely on others to bring them groceries and essentials. Now is not the time to debate who went where and why. Now is the time to help. As the situation changes, there may be businesses that are required to close and people temporarily out of work. People struggling to make ends meet, put food on the table. Now is the time for us to pull together to ensure that people are not going without. Now is the time for community in the most amazing way. I know what I am asking will be outside the comfort zone of many, but if you know someone who is in self-isolation or struggling, I'm asking you to reach out to them. Not in person, of course, but by phone or social media or by email. They may just need someone to talk to. They may need a loaf of bread, a dozen eggs, or diapers for their child. Maybe they just need to know someone cares and they are not alone. It is during these times when we need to be there for each other. I have witnessed the people of this town do incredible things. And while Bridgewater is seen as the economic center for the South Shore, today I am asking us to be more than that. I am asking us to be the heart of Nova Scotia. Thank you. Stay safe and God bless.